Hi, I'm Helen. Welcome to my channel. Today's yoga class will be a yin style practice to get into the shoulders, the arms and the wrists. If you've not done yin before, it's a class where poses are held for a few minutes at a time to get deep into the tissues. If you like my classes, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon and recommend it to anyone who you think would benefit. Thank you for joining me today, and we'll start in child's pose. So come to the mat, knees come as wide as the mat with the big toes together. Sit the seat back to the heels, the belly comes between the thighs, and walk the hands out. Palms face downwards, shoulder width apart, and bring the forehead, the third eye, to the mat. Just start to surrender down in this position, having no engagement in the belly, relaxing all of the front body. Ground the palms down and keep the forearms lifted from the earth, so we're in a bit of an active child. Collarbones are wide, shoulders are relaxed and away from the ears, and just start to tune into the breath. This style class is a much slower practice, and as I said, it allows us to get deep into the muscles and tissues, tendons and ligaments, the joints. This is a great practice to do if you want to increase your flexibility. And it's also quite a calming practice, although it can be quite challenging as well. So just start to do a body scan, noticing if there's any tension you're holding anywhere. This pose gives a good stretch to the hips and the back, the whole of the back body. So if you're holding anything in any particular area, just try and let go of it and relax and surrender down. Always focusing on the breath, noticing the inhalation and the exhalation. Try to lengthen both of them, keeping them equal lengths. Couple more breaths in child's pose. Should feel good just to let go and relax down. Then take one last breath here. And slowly come up to hands and knees. Just maybe wiggle a little bit in either direction. I just heard a click in my hip there. So just in a little bit of energy flow. And we'll move into our first yin posture, which is Sphinx pose. So descend onto the front body. The elbows come directly underneath the shoulders. Forearms are flat to the floor and the hands are flat to the floor with the fingers spread. Lift out of the waist. The chin is parallel to the floor. Shoulders are back. The legs are extended behind with the tops of the feet resting on the floor. You may want to play around a bit with the position of the legs. Just be in a position that feels good for you and start to settle here. So try to keep a lift in the chest. We don't want to slump down like this. And we'll be here for a couple of minutes. So in Greek mythology, the Sphinx was a creature that had the head of a woman, the body of a lion, and the wings of an eagle, and some said also the tail of a serpent. And this Sphinx was outside the city of Thebes and basically devoured the youths that lived there and passers-by. She was sent by the gods as a punishment to the citizens of Thebes. And King Creon offered the city to anyone that could defeat the Sphinx and free Thebes from this curse. Oedipus heard of this challenge and he went there to defeat the Sphinx and claim the throne of Thebes. So in order to pass the Sphinx, she set a riddle, which I'm sure most of you know is one of the most famous riddles in the world. And it was, who has one voice, walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs in the evening? And Oedipus answered, man. As a baby, he crawls. As an adult, he walks. And as an elderly person, he uses a walking stick, making 3 legs. So as we age, the first thing that goes in our bodies is our posture, followed by our balance. And yoga is a great antidote to this, keeping us mobile and supple, tests our balance and improves our posture. So in order to not end up on 3 legs, practice yoga. So we'll slowly come out of this Sphinx pose and just descend the front body to the floor. Stack the hands one on top of each other, then place the left cheek down. So you're facing towards the right. Then you're going to bring this right knee up and just bring it level with the hip and just surrender here. It just gives a little bit of release to the lower back. That posture puts a little bit of compression on the lower spine. It stimulates the kidneys and the bladder. We'll just do this little counter pose here before we move on to the next posture. And then bring the right leg back down and the head to center. So you can do Sphinx again, or we can move into seal pose, which is a slightly deeper back bend. So first of all, come up into Sphinx and then placing the weight into the hands, maybe push down and straighten the arms. Now, if this is too much on your lower back, just do Sphinx again. If this is okay, remember the shoulders are back and down. If you want to deepen this stretch, you can move the hands in slightly. So the nearer the hands are to the body, the deeper the stretch. So do what feels good for you. Shoulders away from the ears. These arms are straight. This is strengthening for the arm bones. And this is putting even more compression into the lower back which is quite healthy for it. Breathe here. Anytime this feels too much, it's too much in your lower back, please come back down to Sphinx. Please observe how you feel and know the difference between pain and going to your edge. Always breathing, never sacrificing the breath repose. Couple more breaths here, and then come back to Sphinx very gently, very mindfully, and come back to forehead on top of the hands. This time the right ear comes to the mat or to the top of the hands, and then hook up this left leg to hip level and just settle here in this counter pose. That was a big opening for the front body. And then bring this left knee back down. Forehead comes back to the top of the hands. And then we'll push back up gently into hands and knees and come onto the seat. So extending the legs out straight in front, just pull the flesh of the buttocks back. If this is hard for you to sit upright with your legs extended, you can always get a blanket and just sit on that. Elevate the hips up, or a cushion. It feels a lot better. We'll move into half shoelace pose with a couple of arm variations just to get into the shoulders. So take the right leg and fold it over on top of the left leg, which is extended out. So try to stack the knees, both sit bones are on the floor and the spine is straight. This right foot is coming in towards the left hip. So you can stay here if this is enough for you, or you can join me with a couple of arm variations. So extend the right arm up, bend at the elbow, and bring the palm flat to the back as best you can. Internally rotate the left shoulder and maybe fold this up and clasp behind. If you can't make the clasp, you can always grab the back of your shirt, or if you have a yoga belt or a tie or something, you can use that to help you maintain this position. You can always do this as well. And then just settle here and breathe. If you want to get a bit of a deeper hip stretch, You can lean forward from the waist and settle in. So this also gets into the left hamstring a bit, the right outer hip, and both shoulders. If you're leaning forward, just start to come back up and then very mindfully release these arms and stretch them out to the side with the hands flexed at the wrists, and just push as if you're pushing into a wall. Move into another arm variation, eagle arms. So in this one, the right arm comes on top of the left. You may clasp the shoulders here as if you're giving yourself a hug. If it's available to you, you can bring the backs of the hands together. If you can go a bit further, you may be able to wrap the hands. Inhale, lengthen out of the waist and lift these elbows up, and this should really feel this stretch in the back of the shoulders. Pull the forearms forward and start to settle here. So again, you may come forward if it suits you, getting into the hips again, surrendering down. You can close the eyes and just center in on the breath. So in these yin poses, we try to find stillness in the body, stillness in the breath, and stillness in the mind. And then if you're leaning forward, gently come back up. Release the arms. Again, press out to the sides, like you're pushing into each wall. Good release here. Then bring the hands down. Slowly unfold this right leg. And just lean back. You can turn the hands out and just lean back here. Maybe windscreen wiper the feet from side to side. Just releasing that hip. Reconnect. And we'll move on to the other side. So this time bringing the left leg in and folding this over. Stacking the knees, sometimes it helps to push them together, pulling this flesh back. This left foot is near the right hip, right leg straight. Inhale, lengthen out of the waist. Remember, you can stay here if this is enough for you, but to get into the shoulders, we'll do cow face on the other side. So this time the left arm comes up. Bend the elbow and place the hand, if you can, flat between the shoulder blades. Then internally rotate this right shoulder and the right hand comes up and maybe binds behind. Remember, there's always the option of grabbing your shirt or using a belt. You can stay upright like this, or if it suits your body and you want a deeper stretch in the hip, start to descend forward from the waist. Breathe in here. You can close the eyes if it feels good. Deep breaths. Try not to hold on to anything and just surrender into the pose. If you're leaning forward, slowly bring the body back up. Release the arms and press out to the sides. And we'll move into eagle arms on this side, so Garudasana arms. Bring the left arm on top of the right. Remember, you have this option. If you can go a bit deeper, bring the backs of the hands together or have the bind. Inhale, lengthen the spine, lift the elbows and pull the forearms away from the face. Just gets a bit deeper into the shoulders. You can stay upright or slowly descend from the hips, coming forward and melt down. So as always with these asymmetrical poses, different side can mean a different story. It's perfectly natural to have imbalances in the body. We always favour one side over the other. For me, this hip is a lot tighter than the other one. And if you're leaning forward, slowly come back up. And we'll release these arms again, pushing out to the side. And then slowly unfold this left leg, extend it to the front. Just windscreen wiper the thighs and the legs. Just sink back here. We'll move into the next pose, which is butterfly. So bring the soles of the feet together. So in this pose, the further away your feet are from your groin, the more it gets into the hamstrings. The closer they are, the more it gets into the adductors. So lengthen out of the waist. Just to get the position initially, we'll interlace the fingers. In fact, I'm going to move my feet out a little bit further. Lengthen out and curl forward. So with the hands, we're going to work on the wrists here. So bring the palms facing forward away from your body, and then see if you can plant the hands with the fingertips facing towards like your glutes. Your forearms are away from you and descending the heel of the palm towards the floor. So this is getting into the forearms here. You might want to play around with the position. So this is actually easier for me to do it this way. And then release down. So again, be very mindful of what you're feeling in your body, and knowing that you're not causing yourself pain and injury, but you are going to your edge. Always breathing.
And then from here, keep the legs where they are and slowly release the hands. Just shake out the wrists. And we'll do another stretch. This time, palms are facing towards the body. Fingers point towards the glutes. I'm going to push down onto the tops of the hands. So this is stretching the wrists here in the other direction. And just put gentle pressure and breathe. So again, please know the difference between pain and going to your edge. This is a great stretch for the wrists, particularly if you do a lot of typing at a terminal. Or in today's world, we're always on our devices, constantly holding them and swiping. These repetitive movements can actually cause us long-term damage. Probably familiar with the term repetitive strain injury. And if you do a lot of typing or you're always on your phone and using your thumbs, people that play musical instruments like piano, all susceptible to repetitive strain injury. And unfortunately, once you do get it, the only way to stop it is just to stop doing the movement. And then if you're leaning forward, slowly come off of these hands. Shake out the wrists. Oh, it feels good. And we'll do a last couple of minutes in butterfly. So whatever version that you have chosen, for me I'm more in a diamond shape. Bring the hands down to the feet, lengthen out of the waist, and then just curl forward and surrender. It's okay to let the background in this version. Breathe here. And on inhale, slowly come back up. Release these legs out again. Just wiggle a bit side to side. We'll make our way onto the back. Come into a supine twist. So extend the left leg out flat, bring the right knee into the chest. Then taking the left hand on the outside of the right knee, just roll over to the side and bring the right arm up next to the ear. Left leg is straight. And then bring the right arm down, right knee comes back, and release to the floor, extending the right leg out. Bring the left knee into the chest, clasp the hands around the knee, and take the right hand outside the left knee and pull it across the midline towards the right side of the mat. Left arm extends straight out, left bicep to left ear. And surrender here. Trying to keep both shoulders on the floor. You can close the eyes and just surrender into this twist. Then bring the left knee back to the midline. Squeeze it into the chest. Bring the right knee up to meet it. Give yourself a little hug, maybe rocking gently from side to side. We'll move into final relaxation Shavasana, so release the feet one at a time to the floor. Allow the feet to flop open. Legs are totally relaxed. Palms to the sky, shoulders are tucked under. Back of the neck is long and the chin slightly tucked. The windows of the eyes are closed. The arrows of attention are turned inwards. And surrender down into the earth. Start to bring awareness back into the body. Start to bring your mind back into the body. Wiggle the fingers and toes. Maybe a few ankle rotations and wrist rotations. And then interlace the hands above the head. Stretch, and a full body stretch with the toes in the opposite direction. And bring the knees in one at a time into the chest. A few gentle rocks side to side. And then slowly release the body over to the right side into fetal position. Bring the hands in a prayer underneath the right cheek. Even the eyes closed. Just allowing the body to settle in this position. And then slowly push the hands into the floor. Bring yourself up into a comfortable seated posture. Spine nice and straight, eyes closed. Bring the palms face down on the knees. And just center here for a moment. You should feel quite grounded after that practice. With a new openness in the shoulders and the wrists. Take a deep breath in, a deep exhale through the mouth. Bring the palms together at the chest, thumbs touching the sternum. And then slowly open the eyes. Thank you for practicing with me today in this Yin class. Although we hold the postures for a few moments, which sounds quite easy, they can actually be very challenging both mentally and physically. So I hope you enjoyed it and you have a new openness in your upper body, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you.